If you're tired of the standard business and marketing fundamentals, frameworks, and funnels, you need a little mischief. Get ready to turn up the volume on the CEO Mischief Maker podcast, where you access conversations with seasoned business owners who have smashed through mindset barriers, innovated the standard boring business and marketing playbooks, and executed future-paced strategies with bleeding-edge tools and tactics to micro-fail their way into massive success and growth. We are Mindset Impact Strategic Catalysts helping innovative entrepreneurs focus. We are CEO Mischief Makers. Ready to make a little mischief? Hey. It must be Friday. It's my favorite day. I love strategy and tactics. Mindset is my first. I love all three of them. But when we actually have the rubber meet the road and it's like, do this, it just feels like it comes to fruition, right? It just feels so good. So welcome back to the conversation with the amazing Greta Zukoff.
Thank
Hello.
you. Hello, great to be back.
Yes. All right. So anyone who has been listening who hasn't listened to the other two and you just started with this episode, you need to go back 2 episodes ago. We talked about mindset. Then the last episode with Greta, we talked about innovation. We already mentioned impact. We've been talking about entrepreneurs. So that's you if you're listening to the show, I'm sure. And now we get to talk about strategy and tactics. Okay. So let's just take it full circle. You talked about your situation that caused you to shift this mindset, have the earth-shattering moment, and the situation when you were in the doctor's office and it was a table flipping moment, like, nope, this is it. I'm going to do this. And you did it. And you're sitting here in front of us, 60 pounds lighter, absolutely more at peace and with the tools that you need to handle whatever's in front of you. But give us some ideas of the actual strategies and tactics that you use and that you help your clients use to be able to transition from mindset to innovation to now make healing yourself.
Yeah. Well, in the first episode, I talked about first getting still and quiet and going within. And lots of people have different ways to do that, whether it's walking, meditation, but just going to try to create space for you to be able to feel. We're always so stuck in our head. And honestly, our conscious mind only has about 5% of the control. And most of it's coming from our subconscious mind, 95% of what we do on a daily basis. So we keep beating it into our conscious mind, but we don't feel like we're making progress. So the tricky thing here is that the subconscious mind is connected to our body and the way that we feel, and our emotions are the secret portal to what the subconscious is doing. And so when we get still and we get quiet and we go within and we create that space to be able to feel in our bodies, we are giving ourselves an advantage. And the body, there's a book by Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps the Score, like you said, that the body remembers on a cellular level. And this is what I do. This is one of the main tactics that after I walked out of that doctor's office and I wanted to heal what was happening in my body and with my relationships and my emotions and the stress, everything. I looked at my physical body and my emotions, and I found a modality that addressed both the physical body, what I was experiencing, the brain sending those signals of stress and anxiety down to my physical body, as well as the mind. So I'm working with both at the same time when I use this modality, which, do you want me to go ahead and share that with you now?
Please, go for it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, one of the biggest techniques or tools that I used that had the most impact on my journey was EFT tapping, or emotional freedom technique. And it's super transformational, very simple to apply. We are now getting so much scientific research on its effectiveness, and actually, like, it gets results in half the time as cognitive behavioral therapy. So you get similar results because we are leveraging the power of your emotions in the subconscious mind. It's like a shortcut for change. And so when you apply this to your body, it is based on ancient Chinese medicine. We have meridians, which have actually been scientifically proven that exist on the body. These meridian lines on the body are linked to specific organ systems. And according to Chinese medicine, these organ systems are linked to specific emotions. And as we said, we tend to suppress those emotions over time. We overlook them. We don't honor them. We don't incorporate them. We're told that it's bad to feel these emotions. They build up over time, and we start to develop that discomfort in the body, disease, stress, as you were mentioning with your husband. And so this is a way that it's a self-administered technique that you can apply. And the reason why I love it is that it has a calming physical sensation. If you're dealing with anxiety or stress, it's super, super helpful. But there's also some magic to it, in a sense where you're accessing the subconscious mind. You're accessing beliefs, because if you're feeling a feeling, it means you're thinking a thought, whether you're aware of it or not. And therefore, we're also addressing the limbic system of the brain, which is your fight, your flight, your freeze, and your fawn response. And essentially, if you've ever seen a domino's path be set up, and once you flick the domino, the whole path, the chain reaction goes. And when you apply EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique, it's like removing one of those dominoes from the path, and the chain reaction can stop, meaning your brain, your limbic system saying, danger, danger, don't do that. There's a belief here. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to be shamed. You're going to fail, or, anything that might be blocking you. And the brain is sensing at a very high level for your safety and protection. So that limbic system's on fire, and it just keeps sending those messages down to your body. And you might not even be aware of it. It's sensing at such a high degree. But at the end of the day, you come home and you have that migraine, or you just have this repeating pattern, or you feel procrastination in your business. You feel self-sabotage. And so therefore, you can get relief from those physical sensations. You pull out the domino, you stop the brain from sending those messages down to the body. And you're also working on these self-limiting beliefs, right? If you're hitting upper limit blocks. So it's an incredible tool that is super empowering.
Wow. Yes. And there are so many techniques like this for many different reasons, scenarios, solutions. There's, some of the questioning that we do that basically stops people in their tracks from a marketing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
If you're chatting with someone and you ask, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of a conversation, that stops whatever thought process they were having. Right. If I'm in a sales call, if I'm, talking to someone, it stops that process, because they have to go, they're inquisitive, they're curious, and they have to stop in order to listen to your question. Right. So it's that same concept, but for your body. You're basically going stop, and you're putting that stop in there rather than trying to force yourself to stop it. Because most of the time, these are, like you said, unconscious behaviors. So of course, how can you force yourself to stop something unconscious?
Right.
Exactly. That's a conscious thought to make something happen consciously or unconsciously. Yes. And I love it. I'm going to have to either talk to you more about it or read up more about it. I think I've seen some of these techniques. I understand, but that relates to some of the tools that I use. And specifically, one of them is self-hypnosis. And it's a meditative technique, and it's guided. And after speaking with someone about some of the issues that I have, he created a tape for me, and it's about 20 minutes, and it basically takes me down into that subconscious realm and allows my body and my mind, my unconscious mind, to deal with whatever's happening and help me be stronger in handling the conscious situation. So I know already when I start feeling those feelings, I just go back to that place.
That's it.
And let go.
Yes.
And let it happen.
Yes. And I always say that your trigger, or what's happening in the present moment, is the gift. It's the portal to getting into the subconscious mind, to getting to the root cause. So then we have a completely different approach on how we're going to move through our day to day, And it's really from an empowered place where we don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
fear these things. We don't have to run away from them. We almost welcome them and embrace them and say, I have something for this. Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for showing up. The
Yes.
more this shows up, the more opportunity I have to transcend it. But without the tool, without understanding how to do it, it can feel very scary and just create more stress. So it's
Right.
really understanding the right tools, how to get there, and not fearing the uncomfortable, like we mentioned before. Like it's through that noticing, the awareness, I'm feeling off, I'm feeling stressed, then, oh, this is the curiosity. Can I be curious? Can I use the tool?
Yes, it is. And we all know. So here, this always amazes me. And I don't know whether you have an answer for this, but
Mhm,
especially from a family. Okay, I'm an oldest of three girls,
mhm,
and I'm considered the black sheep
mm,
because I broke the pattern.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, that's not very popular thing,
Right.
right? They don't want you to break the pattern. You got to keep things
Yeah.
going. So, what made me do that? What made me look and see and go and be curious and say, wait, there's got to be something. This is not comfortable. I don't like this. This is not fun. This is not healthy. I'm not happy in this particular handling things this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But other people stay there,
Yeah.
and it's either I know it's more comfortable. It's definitely not comfortable, but it's comfortable because it's familiar. That's the word I should use. It's more familiar,
Mhm.
and so they'd rather be familiar than
Yeah.
difficult and scary and all those things. What makes one person, I don't know if you have the answer, what makes
Mhm.
one person go, this needs to change, and
Yeah.
another person stay there?
Well, I have a personal belief system that we come into this human experience with wanting to experience everything that we can. And we don't know what that looks like for another human being. We can only know what that looks like for ourselves. And so, what made you decide that that wasn't for you just because you were birthed into a certain family? I believe that that family has served you because that was the right family to show you that you want something different, where maybe it was the right family for your siblings because they desire a completely different experience. And we can't see that through our lenses because
Mm.
we have our own desires that are unique to us. And part of the journey is definitely honoring yours, but then allowing other people to honor theirs. And sometimes we can do that and sometimes we can't. But that is my personal belief. And when
Yeah.
I adopted that mindset that let them be them and let me be me. And when I focus on me and I only have control over my thoughts and my emotions and my reactions, then I'm in the driver's seat of my life. And they are in the driver's seat of their life. And it doesn't have to be what I like. But your family was the perfect priming ground, which is where all this originates, anyways.
I absolutely agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
The only reason I would say that people might still want to do something different in a situation is because of the behaviors and outcomes
Mhm.
that may not be the best for their healthy life and happy life.
Yeah.
And we don't need to go into details, right? We know all of them: drugs and
Yeah.
alcohol and jail and all those things.
Mhm.
The behaviors and the actual results
Yeah.
of being not very happy and not working on yourself. And you're right. I don't know if they've worked on themselves or not. I don't know how far they've come.
Yeah.
That's their journey.
Yeah.
I just know for me, it wasn't
Right.
where I
Wasn't.
needed to be. And you are so right. It is such a huge, incredible gift. I really do thank every experience I've had, mostly the difficult ones,
Mhm.
because I wouldn't be who I am
Yeah.
without them. I wouldn't have learned and grown the way I have for me without them.
Yeah.
And so if you're sitting here listening to us and you've listened to that little confession I just made, and the wonderful response that Greta had so kindly, and you're looking at your life going, okay, I do want to change this. I don't want to change that. I'm ready for this. I'm not ready for that. I wonder why I keep procrastinating. Why do I keep showing up late? Why do I keep sabotaging my business and not doing the things I know I need to do? I think you need to listen to these episodes again. And EFT might be one of the tools you might want to start with.
Yes.
I've shared the tool that I shared. But is there any other last thought that you would want to give someone listening going, okay, I think I do need to switch something up? Any last thought you'd like to give them to help them along that journey?
If you had any nudge at all, if anything resonated with you, it's not an accident. And it's learning how to cultivate that communication with yourself. That is what it's all about. So if there's anything in your mind, they're like, oh, that feels familiar, or I resonate with that. That just could be the little nudge to take a deeper look. And it doesn't have to be a full investment in a coaching program or anything, but again, following that curiosity and developing that communication system with your own self and following those nudges. And if you follow that nudge, life is going to unfold in such a more satisfying way than you can imagine. And it's when you deny those little nudges and inclinations. So I would say, if at all, just start to explore, just be curious.
Okay, hold on. If your mindset was shifted, you were inspired to innovate, and you were spurred into action, don't just move on with your day. Focus, my friend, and take a few minutes to visit CEOmischiefmaker.com to learn more about the value that was shared with you today. Please act now and create some CEO mischief of your own.